Hey guys, welcome back to my home library today. I am Megan. Well, of course I'm Megan. I'm Megan every day. I mean, welcome back today and that I'm Megan. I don't even know. Today we're doing the mid-year book freakout tag. I do this every year. I feel like it's always so fun. I will say I've not read as many books this year. I mean, I've still read a lot. I've read 27 books, which is still really, really good. So I'm on track to read 50 for the year, but last year I read 100 books. So I'm like pretty far behind compared to last year. I have no goal this year at all for reading those, so I'm just kind of going with it. So without further ado, let's get into the questions. Book number 1 is the best book you've read so far this year. There's only one book this year that I have given 5 stars. To everyone's surprise, it was nonfiction. Who am I? And it was the Elon Musk biography by Walter Isaacson. This book was fascinating. Even if you don't know anything about Elon Musk, like, or you don't really care, it was still like the story itself was so good in it. Like there's like high stakes and there's conflict and there's like action. And I mean, it was so good. Like I am just obsessed with learning more about Elon Musk because he's such a wild character. That's why it was so fun to read. And the writing was so good. Like I said, I mean, I would lay there at night listening to this book as like the audiobook version, which is good, by the way. I like the audiobook. And I would not be able to go to sleep. Usually audiobooks put me to sleep, but this one kept me on the edge of my seat. My heart was like pounding. Oh my gosh, so good. The next is the best sequel you've read so far this year. Surprisingly, I have read 6 sequels this year. That's crazy. That never happens. I guess I'm doing really good with keeping up with series is all I know. I've got 2. It's a tie. I can't choose. One is Killer Instinct, which is the second book in the Natural series by Jennifer Lynn Barnes. This is the series I say is like kind of like Criminal Minds meets X-Men with like a love triangle thrown in. Kind of reminds me of I Hunt Killers as well, but I really, really liked it. And then I'd say my other favorite is A Dangerous Collaboration, which was book 4, I think. Book 4? Yeah, of the Veronica Speedwell series. This one was probably my favorite of the series so far, and I recommend this series to everybody. It is so good. The next is a new release that you haven't read yet but want to. I've got a lot of new releases that I need to read. I just did a video recently with my summer TBR, and they're like all new releases. I've been reading a lot of new releases. I just finished one yesterday, but I think the 2 that I'm most excited about are Middle of the Night by Riley Sager, just because I loved Home After Dark so much. This one, I don't know if it's going to be remotely similar, but I'm going to try it. And then the other one that I'm probably the most looking forward to of the new releases is The Haunting of Velkwood. But I'm going to save it for the end of the summer as we go into fall time because it sounds like a little creepier maybe. I don't know. It's giving fall vibes for sure. But I think that this book is something I'm going to love. I'm going to just go out on a limb and say it because it's giving vibes of Slade House over here, which is one of my favorite books of all time. So hopefully, Uneven Neverworld Wake, it's kind of got like a time loop sort of thing, or not really time loop, but like a bubble that they have to go in that like time stopped. I don't know. I'm not really even sure. All I know is it sounds absolutely amazing. The next question is this is number 4, the most anticipated release of the second half of the year. And this is by far, and hopefully it actually comes out this year because the release date keeps changing, which is Silverborn, The Mystery of Morrigan Crow. This is the 4th book in the Nevermore series, which is a middle grade series. It is the closest thing just in how much the feeling of it, the atmosphere, how much I love it, to Harry Potter that I've ever read. And I am the biggest Harry Potter fan. Like Harry Potter shaped who I am as a person. Like I'm a librarian because of Harry Potter. But this 4th book, unfortunately, the release date keeps changing. So I'm just hoping that it gets released this fall when it's supposed to. The biggest disappointment of the year is a book that I DNF'd. I had a lot of disappointments, I'm not gonna lie. But I'd say the one that I really thought I would love, I did it for a reading vlog where I predicted books that would be 5 stars. So I really thought this book would be 5 stars and wound up DNFing it. So I'd say that's a pretty big disappointment. And it was Our Share of Night. I thought this book was gonna be like vampires and weird, and I thought it was going to be, well, it was really long. It was like 650 pages or something, but I thought it was going to be right up my alley, and it was so boring. It was so bad. I think I made it like 100 pages in, and I was like, I can't do this. This is terrible. It was kind of horror too, but it didn't get scary. No. Number 6 is the biggest surprise of the year, which definitely, no question about it, goes to Tress of the Emerald Sea by Brandon Sanderson. We all know my past with Brandon Sanderson. Don't like his works. Don't think he's a great writer. Didn't think so anyway until I read this book. I absolutely loved Tress of the Emerald Sea. I gave it 4.5 stars. Thought it was wonderful. I will continue to read any book written from Hoyd's point of view, which is why I'm going to try Yumi and the Night Painter like literally next month because I thought his voice was so funny. Next is a new favorite author. I would not say I found like a new favorite author right now, like this year or anything, but if I had to mention two, and I hate that I'm using some of the same answers because I try to do different answers for each of these questions, but it would be Deanna Raybourn from the Veronica Speedwell series. I did also read her book, Killers of a Certain Age, and I thought it was fine. Like I gave it like 3 stars or 3.5, whatever it was. It was fine. But I love the series so much, the Veronica Speedwell series. I feel like it's such good writing. So maybe she could be a favorite author. And then Jennifer Lynn Barnes, maybe? I didn't like the Inheritance games though, but I really did like her other series, so The Naturals. The next is newest fictional crush. I don't think I have a newest fictional crush, but if I had to pick, it would be, I guess, Stoker from the Veronica Speedwell series because he's the best. So that would be the one I'd pick, I would say. The next question is newest favorite character. I don't want to repeat answers from different books, so I'm going to say Alosa from Daughter of the Pirate King because she is a female Jack Sparrow, but a teenager, and she's awesome. If you can imagine what it would be like to be inside Jack Sparrow's head and know all the manipulating that he's doing and how cunning he is and be able to see behind the scenes as to like why he's, what his motivations are, which is the air of mystery about it is what made the, first pirate movie fun. You didn't know why he was doing what he was doing. Was he bad? Was he good? Was he really trying to help him? Is he just out for himself? But this one you see her motivation, but she really is a female Jack Sparrow, and she was pretty awesome and she was funny and I liked her very much, and I am going to continue reading this ridiculous young adult like adventure series. Okay, number 10 is a book that made you cry. Well, none. If I had to pick a book that made me cry, I mean, none of them really made me cry, but I have a couple answers that made me like, I guess, feel some sort of emotion, and that would be Dream Factory, the one that was set at Disney World, because there were some like emotional moments and just some of the things they talked about I really liked. Or I could say The Measure because it was so serious and it made you really question things about like your own existence and things. So that was kind of cool. Or possibly The Good House by Tiana Reeve because this book was so ridiculously long that it made me want to cry because it was too long. Number 11 is a book that made you happy. I'm going to say something crazy. I'm going to say a young adult, like romance, and it's Holly Jolly Summer. This book was so fun. It was the first book I read for my theme park reading vlog. It was a blast. I had such a good time with it. It's very, not immature, but just like more like middle grade level even, I would say, than young adult. But it was so fun. It involved a theme park. There were some stakes, it was a fun, good time. It was actually my favorite of all the theme park books I read, to everyone's surprise. The next question is the most beautiful book you bought or received this year. I'm going to say I did not buy that many books this year, but I did get this for free. It's a long story, but I thought that this one was really pretty. I don't know if I'll even ever read it. Maybe I'll sell it at Half Price Books and get some money out of it. But I'd say my actual answer is this book. It was a book of the month, Mayor of Maxwell Street by Avery Cunningham. I don't know anything about this book, but it's just my favorite color. I just absolutely love this color of green. It is like my favorite color. Not so much this color, it's really this front, but I don't know. I just love this cover, thought it was absolutely beautiful. And I bought this book for like 50 cents at a library sale, like a public library sale. It might have even been 25 cents. I don't know. It was really super cheap. I mostly bought it so that I could sell it at Half Price Books and get money for it. Because I thought, oh my gosh, so they'll pay me a few bucks for this thing and I'm paying 50 cents. But I'm not trying to read it. We'll see. And the final question is books you need to read by the end of the year. I would say none. I don't need to read any of them. I can read whatever I want and there's no pressure about it, which is what I love. But books I want to read by the end of the year, of course, I already mentioned Middle of the Night. I already mentioned Haunting of Elkwood. I already mentioned Yumi and the Night Painter. I definitely have to get to Finley Donovan Rolls the Dice like ASAP. I need to read that. And I still need to read How to Become the Dark Lord and Die Trying. I think those are the only books left on my summer TBR. So if I can at least get through those, I'd be pretty happy. I think I'm also going to have to read Ghostwritten by David Mitchell because it sounds so much like Slade House and I love Slade House so much. So I have to read it. It's going to be a fall time read because it seems very fall vibes. And I would say I have to read Special Topics in Calamity Physics by Marisha Pessel because I love Marisha Pessel. I loved Neverworld Wake. I loved Night Film, and I was going to read Special Topics in Calamity Physics last fall because it's always like a good, fall time read, it seems like, to read her books. But I did not get a chance to, so I have to read it this fall. So I would say those are some of my top priorities. Well, that was fun and very quick, I feel like. So thank you guys so much for watching. Hopefully this was somewhat entertaining. Maybe you found some new books. Maybe you can look into this one. I never even heard of it before, but there you go. So let me know down below if you have any of the same sentiments that I do about these books and any recommendations for me or anything like that. And I will talk to you guys again soon. Bye.